Oh, yeah, that is. This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the Fishing Crew.
What is going on, January?
Yeah, boy. Am I a little... I don't know what my hang-up is with January.
You're stuck there.
Put the promo card out there. Has told everybody Jayden Wendel's going to join us on January 18th. I don't remember who it was that called me out, but thank you for doing it. Appreciate it. That was nice of you.
You text me a guest for next week of January 20-something. I'm like, what?
January 25th. Yeah,
so
here.
We've hit it big time. January 25th, we're having Brett Blumendahl in 2027. I'm like, we're booking a year out. This is we did something. I didn't even know we did it. That's awesome.
It was just a bit of a mess, but so Jayden Wendel tonight. We'll bring him in a little bit. Just hold on there. We got a couple of quick things here. Eric Brandray, how you doing? All right, National Walleye Tour, major shakeup, so things are going to be different there, and maybe you'll end up talking with Jayden about that stuff. I don't want to sit.
That's so for people to know, 2027, not 26.
Not this year. They're going to use this year to refine 2027, but things are going to be a lot different. A shorter field and all that. We'll get into that stuff probably when you and I chit chat by ourselves, unless Jayden wants to talk about it a little bit. And then here's the big one from today. Head to Head made the decision not to run the H2H in 2026 and beyond. They have hung it up. What up with that?
That was, that whole program when it came out during COVID, I mean, they couldn't have hit a better time when they launched Head to Head with the cameras in each boat, doing the whole thing. I was tuned in. I know everybody I talked to was tuned in watching that thing. And very cool concept on paper, right? And this is my thoughts on it. And I think I love what they tried to do for the sport. I love what they did for the sport, right? They elevated it, pushed us to do these things right here. It pushed us to do more on the water coverage, more podcasts. So hats off to that family that did that because it really leveled us up. But, when they did the head-to-head format where you fish you fish against each other, and let's just say I weighed 25 pounds and I beat you out. And Jayden's our guest tonight's fishing Brett Blumendahl, and Jayden weighs 18 pounds and outfishes him.
Right.
Go fish Jayden the next round, and Jayden weighs, 15 pounds, and I weigh 13 pounds, and he beats me out. I still have more weight than him.
Right.
Right. So that was to me a hang up because I'm like, that guy had a bad period, which I get it. That's a format. That's how everybody fishes.
Right.
But when it came down to the one, like nobody caught fish and they coin flipped, I think that's where that went bad. Their pro circuit I thought was great. I was really excited for this circuit. Super excited. Because I'll frankly tell you, National Walleye Trail needs competition. But
yes, it does. Yeah.
We've talked about it. And it's a grindy world out there for sponsors. And we have a concept, and I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. I mean, if you want to hear about it one-on-one and you're somebody that's, really into it and want to hear about it, give us someone a call, reach out to us. We'll talk about it. But that concept, the concept would be, in my opinion, would blow everything out of the water. But we figured $500,000 we'd need to make it roll down the road.
Yeah, and the time isn't right there. It isn't at all.
And that's kind of why we pulled the plug, was the time wasn't right. Yeah. Well, Trapper, we're Trapper on this one.
Yeah, right. That's right. We got Trip with Dad now. So Trapper. Yeah, you know what? He's right there. The time's not right. The whole fishing industry is going through a thing, and now's not the time. Okay, so that's funny there, Candy Bar. Gene Cox. Evening to you. You know what? Let me don't get too crazy here. I want to our guest Jayden Wendel. Show you that again. I'm excited for tonight. I mean, I love this kid. I met him up in North Dakota, and he's one of those born to walleye fish. I called him the North Dakota walleye phenom, and he is. I mean, this guy, I got to quit calling him a kid beyond his years. It's amazing. We've been trying to get him on the show, and it worked out perfect. His dad, Brent, reached out and said, "Hey, Jayden's going to do a ton of fishing. Let's get him on the show before he gets going." So let's bring him on.
How are you?
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful. Do you get sick of this?
I've heard about that a few times. I always get. I don't quite remember his name, but all I know is if I can live up to the legacy of him, it'd be a pretty dang good career. So
one and only.
Oh yeah, the one and only Jimmy Carter. No,
oh yeah,
Jimmy Houston. It's Jimmy Houston. I mean, when I heard him calling you that this summer, I'm like, they're so spot on because you had the sun bleached blonde hair, and I mean it was coming out of your hat, and I'm like, oh my God, he is so Jimmy Houston Jr. It's truly amazing. I want to pop this up here because a lot of people, and then again, there's 60 people watching tonight, and that's a great number. So I think they realize where you're coming from, but this tells the story. I mean, this is a big deal, right? 3 weekends in a row, second in the Montana Gov Cup. You'd never fished it before. Second in the North Dakota Gov Cup. I don't think you hadn't fished that before either, right? And then the Dakota Walleye Classic, which is, I mean, that feat in its own is amazing.
Yeah, it was certainly special. I don't know if I could recreate that or anybody could recreate that if they tried. Of course, we'd have liked first place, but second place, I mean, especially among some of those guys we were fishing out against there, I couldn't ask for much more last year. And, we had so many names. Everybody was calling me Deuce, the Bridesmaids. It could be anything, but so many different names came from that.
So here's the other thing that 3 weekends in a row. This is 2-2-2-2. You were first in the Barnes County tournament at Ashtabula. That's kind of your home lake. You got that dialed in because you had the all-time 2-day weight record over 57 pounds, and then second overall team of the year with the North Dakota AIM Walleye Weekend Series. I mean, you want to talk about accomplishments for? I guess, are you considering it your rookie year? It was your rookie year, right?
I would kind of consider it my rookie year. 2024, we actually had a tournament on Ashtabula, that same one I won in 2025. And I didn't really start live scoping or much before that. And then that tournament, we had a couple pros show up, Brian Bjorkman and Ben Teets. They fished the NWT. And they showed up, and they showed what that lake was, the potential of that lake. They had 40 pounds, and I was sitting there with 8.9 pounds. I have it as my screensaver every day. That day I got 42nd place because I had 8.9 pounds, and that was the day. There was almost a fire lit, under me. And you kind of had the decision, do you feel sorry for yourself that these pros came in and whooped you and took the house basically, or do you put your backpack on and just hit it head on? And that's kind of what I decided to do almost. Is just hit it head on. And from there on, I haven't looked back. And that was certainly, everybody asked me, what was your favorite tournament ever? And I tell them it was a tournament. I got 42nd place because that was a tournament that that got me going.
Yeah, that was the springboard. And the funny thing for me, I fished Ashtabula when I was a kid with my grandma and grandpa in the early 70s. I honestly just never thought that lake was that great, and I didn't expect 57 pounds coming out of that lake.
No, it's pretty impressive. We actually have a walleye league out there. It's called the Fish River Walleye League, and they fish it basically after it's actually our banner in the background. That's the tournament we won last year. Okay. That's they do like the first week of this first Saturday of June or so every year, or maybe it's the second, one of the two. This year it lands on June 14th or 15th, and I've been fishing that tournament since I was 9 years old, and it felt good to finally pull one out. We set the record with 57 pounds. The previous record was 41 pounds. So there's some good fish in there. And in that league, we fish it every night for about 3 hours. And me and my buddy, Reed Nelson, I grew up fishing with him, basically fish with him more than anybody I ever have in a boat. And on shore from when we were younger, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, 8 hours a day on the shore in the Cheyenne River in town. And me and him did that league, and we both had like 130 inches about in some nights, and that, I mean, in 3 hours, that you're looking at, a 26-inch average. So there's good fish in there to be had for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. So do you go to the pizza corner when you're done fishing then, or?
That's kind of the staple here in Valley City, but us locals, we don't get it as often as you think we would.
Well, that's because it's your home pizza shop.
Yeah,
I went to Valley
exactly.
City for a year when I went to college there in 1986, and I knew Valley City anyway because my grandparents lived in Castleton. We'd go to Buffalo to church, and then we had great aunts and uncles that were in the Valley City area. So spent a lot of time there anyway. But Gene, you were talking about, was that a walleye? Yes, it is. Yeah. I think what Gene's talking about here is, that is a bass with Jimmy Houston. This is a walleye with Jimmy Houston Jr. with Jayden Wendel. Yep. So now you're talking about fishing as a kid. This would crack me up.
Oh boy. You must have been digging to find one of those.
Well, yeah, I went deep. Is that a walleye and a sauger? Honestly, I didn't really look that close, but it's just a couple
2 walleyes maybe. Yeah.
Come on, bud. Digging what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, true. Just last week.
Now I can make them young kid jokes. I got my entire life
hooked on pizza corner. Well, that's because you can get pizza corner here in Mobridge here at the grocery store. You can get it you can get it anywhere now. It's become a huge franchise. But which, by the way, when you're doing the Casino Cup, I live in Mobridge now, so I'm gonna make sure I'm there and root for you, just because it can. I'm gonna pop up pictures because I think we're gonna get to talking here, and we're not gonna have time. So tell us the age here. You got to be like 7 or 8 with the great big walleye, and then 9 and 10 or 9 and 11, something like that.
Oh yeah, I think in that I was about 8 or 9 years old. I might have been even 7. It was actually my birthday. I caught that fish. It's a 26-incher. I caught it out of the ice. We actually have, if you look up Jayden Wendel on YouTube, there's a video of me reeling that through the ice, and I was probably 10 years ago. Yep.
So I had so many pictures that I decided that I needed to make stickers out of them. So because I thought, the one through the ice, that would be great if they could see that. But I'm going to be popping up pictures for half an hour, driving people nuts. But the thing is I'm not going to stop because this is your Dakota Walleye Classic. Now, and honestly, this had to feel pretty good to you because you are sandwiched between 2 pros, right? You've got Tom Wynn on one side and you've got Dwayne Jelm. Yep. You got Dewey on the other side and you're right in the middle. That's something.
That felt pretty good. You have Tom, he won the national championship or whatever, the championship of the NWD, and then you got Dewey, he won the Angler of the Year. So when you look at it statistically, could you stand in between any 2 better people? And I don't think so. And they're good fishermen, but they're even better people. I think they're great people. They welcomed me like into open arms when I said I'm going to make the leap into the NWT, and they were like, if you ever need anything, just give me a call. And you couldn't ask for much better of a person to stand next to up there. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. So I'll pop this up. This was were you a co-angler when there?
I was a pro angler. That was in 2023. I would have been 17 in that picture, and I got just middle of the pack or so. That's just when I started to kind of learn live scope a little bit, or 2024 is what it was. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you took to the live sonar pretty damn fast, didn't you?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, even to learning this, is you just got to put time into it. The amount I spend a lot of hours on the water. Usually, I think last year I had 75 days in a row or something like that on the water. And I'm staring at that screen for 8 to 10 hours a day, and eventually it's gonna, it snaps in your head a little bit. And when you're looking at it, you'll think, am I making any progress? You're making progress. You look from day to day. You might not think you're making progress. You look the next week, you're like, oh, what I learned, I made a lot of progress. And I think that's a huge thing. I think people get misunderstood because they compare themselves to everybody else. Why am I not like Tom, John Hoyer, Dewey, focus on yourself. And if your rival is yourself and you want to get better every day and you work hard towards that and you do not stop until truly you never want to stop. The day you think that you are better than anybody else or whatever, that next guy that's hungrier than you is going to come past you and eat you up, and you're going to be at the bottom of the pack soon. So the truth of it is you just got to stay hungry and try to be better every day.
Yeah, and that's a big key with what you guys are. Stay hungry. I love the fact that your screensaver's your 44th place finish.
Right.
That to me is humbling, right? I mean, keep yourself humble, because I've been in this game a long time. I mean, I think I'm going on my 18th year running tournaments in 2026, and it is, the highs are high, the lows are lower, and the lows come. The highs are, I mean, incredible, and you can ride that wave for a while, but when you crash, you will. Everyone does.
Yep.
When you come back from it, that's how it shows, right? I mean, you can go through a laundry list of pros that you can go back and look at their career and see that. We got a comment here I want to bring in quick.
Oh yeah, Tom, you're a wonderful dude, man. That's I met Tom at the Minneapolis boat show the other day. I ran into him, and that's the first thing he said. He came up to me right away, shook my hand, and if I need anything, reach out, don't hesitate. And I can't be more thankful for that. That's for sure.
Hey,
what a great
Tom,
dude.
The first thing he needs is to get into a better boat.
I don't know about that.
Oh, here we go. We're hacking on the boat now.
He needs to sell that Walmart boat brand Camus behind him and get into a Vexus. But we'll keep working on him, Tom. I need your help.
Okay, so Jayden, before I forget, let's go back to live scope real quick. We were talking about snapping things, and I'm like, when you get your head down for 8 to 10 hours, it goes all about second place. Yeah, isn't that the truth? So are you gonna keep the live scope low this year, or are you gonna put it on a stand and bring it up?
I think we're gonna keep it in the exact same spot. It's a 22-inch screen we have up front, the 9222 from Garmin, and my neck is down. I probably have a little hunchback. I go to the chiropractor about every 2 weeks in the summer, I think, just because it's probably not too good for me. But I personally like it down. A big monitor up in my face like that. I tend to be pretty clumsy, so the chances I have of leaving it up and then pretty soon it whacks down on a big wave or something, my dad probably wouldn't be too happy about that. So we kept it. We're just going to keep it there mounted.
I get that. I thought maybe this year I'd try. I'm gonna try to lift mine up a little bit, and I don't fish like you do. I'm fiddling around, but I'm trying to find some comfort in it, because it's just like you said, you're going to the chiropractor because your neck is just constantly down, and it's amazing. You wouldn't think it's that big a deal, but by God, I don't know how many times I am out there stretching and moving around, staring down, but you can't fish without it.
I was already saying, way better on your back and neck. See, good job, Tom.
I'll keep it in mind, Tom. I'll keep it in mind.
So you have a ton. When your dad told me you're going to fish 22 tournaments, I'm like, Are you serious? So you actually have a list of tournaments.
Yep.
Run down the list, because people are just gonna. I don't know. My jaw dropped right away when I saw the list.
I have to pull up my little fishing schedule here, but we actually got the first one in 2 weeks. They're going to start practicing in 2 weeks. It's March 7th out of Red Wing, Minnesota. It's called the Freeze Your Butt Off tournament. One of my favorites. We fished it last year for the first time, and it honestly just knocks the rust off. Everything gets moving. You kind of get in a roll. That's kind of the main objective of that. Obviously, I'd like to do good, but I'm not too good of a river fisherman. But I've been working on it. And then April 9th and 10th, we got Lake Erie, NWT. Really excited to do that. I'm doing the whole circuit this year, so we'll see how it goes. After the new rule changes and stuff, I need to be top 55, it looks like, if I want to fish it again next year. So that's the main objective. But then I have a little room in between. I'm going to add 1 or 2 in there, and then the next one's May 2nd. So in between April 9th and May 2nd, we're doing the Big Muddy out of Bismarck. It's on the Missouri River there, just in town. Big weights, huge weights for that tournament. Then we're going to the Lewis and Clark AIM out of I think they moved it to Newtown now. It used to be in Williston, but the water's low this year and kind of messed up. And then May 16th is the Casino Cup out of Mulbridge. And then the week after that, we have the NWT out of Mulbridge. So it's kind of back to back there. I like to hop into something before, so I should be fishing that tournament or fishing that water for about 2 weeks. So hopefully I have a good understanding. But then May 30th, one of my favorites, we have the AIM National at Castle Rock Lake in Wisconsin. And this lake, no tournament there has been there in 25 or 30 years just because of the slot limit and stuff. They can't really host a live weigh-in tournament there, so that AIM format kind of allows that to happen. So that'll be kind of cool. There's no known weights there or whatever, so everybody's going in with an open mind. And then June 6th we have the AIM out of Audubon. June 13th and 14th, if I can make it, I don't think I will anymore because of the NWT, but it would have been my favorite. The one behind me, Ashtabula, a great tournament. Grew up fishing it. Couldn't ask for much of a better lake. It proves you can fish rock, deep, weed. It's where I learned everything. I mean, anything you can think of, it's in that lake. And then NWT in Michigan, June 18th and 19th. June 26th, Devil's Chamber out of Devil's Lake. July 10th and 11th. Well, I fished it first time last year. Got second place. It's one of my favorites, the Montana Gov Cup in Fort Peck. And then July 17th and 18th, the North Dakota Gov Cup. And then I think I'm going to be missing it this year, but the DWC out of Beulah, July 24th and 25th, just because the week after that, the NWT's in Green Bay. And don't want to miss that. I heard that's going to be a pretty cool bite. And then we got AIM Partial in August 8th, late August 27th, 29th. We got hopefully the NWT Championship on Garrison. Had to put it on the schedule. You gotta premeditate it a little bit. And then September 11th, AIM Beulah. It's a back-to-back there. And then September 25th and 26th, the Big Ten out of Williston. So that's kind of what we're working with right now, but there's going to be 2 or 3 added into there for sure.
I love it. Okay, this is the mayor of Mobridge. So when you're in Mobridge here, we'll make sure you meet the mayor. Says I've never fished a tournament in my life, but just thinking about 22 tournaments me about wore out. Yeah, I well, and that's the thing. And here he says, good luck with the adventure. I'm pumped. 22 tournaments. I mean, that's a hell of a grind, but you're going to dive in, and obviously you're going to give it your best. You got a lot of people supporting you. Your dad is big into this new career, right, for you, and I think it's amazing. It's a dream. It's going to be fun to live through you vicariously. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm ready for it. I'm pumped up. Be interesting to see where this goes. But if that mayor of Mobridge wants to come out fishing, my boat's open, pre-fishing. You let me know.
Oh, there we go. I was going to say, yeah. If you see me and my little 16-foot white 50 horse, I'll be waving at you. I don't know. I may have to. If you don't have anybody in the boat, I got to crawl in the boat with you for a while. No doubt about it.
Oh yeah, whenever.
Make him leave his tackle box at home.
Yeah. Wow. It's probably some like 1960 Rapala original.
No,
you'll just look in the back of the boat, and he might have the kitchen sink thrown over or something. He's a fiddler. He just
I'm an inventor.
Out. Inventor.
I truly, and not a good one. I'm not a Dan Spangler inventor, but I'm going to tell you, somewhere in that box of stuff that I have, I've got a tournament winning something for you. So
he's got the next jig and wrap, and he will find it.
Well, see, now I have made some refinements to the jig and wrap, and I can't wait to get out there in the spring and give it a try myself, because in my head and with all the fiddling around I've done, I'm like, I think I got it. I think I figured it out. So I don't know. I'm really curious to see what happens there. But that's the other thing. Jim Randash said that this whole jig wrapping over the trees thing was just going to disappear one day, and it feels like it did this fall. Not sure exactly what happened beyond the fact that welcome to a reservoir or a lake with some serious bait in it, because we got bait here. Wow.
Yeah, I believe that. There's a lot of bait in Skakawea too. It's unbelievable this last year. The smelt numbers, no matter where you went, you've seen smelt. And actually, you usually want to be in the bait. My kind of secret was trying to get out of the bait and find no fish, and just find the most lonely fish possible. And then you throw a bait at them, and it's probably the first thing they've seen move in about 3 days, and then whack. That's kind of what it seemed to be. It might take 30, 40 minutes to find one, but it seemed to work.
So, and Kurt, didn't you, before we get to Tom's comment there, didn't you say that you had a buddy and a kid or something that was catching smelt?
No, so my buddy went out coyote hunting, and this last weekend, and the coyotes were eating the dead gizzard shad. As before he'd shoot him, he'd watch him eat the dead gizzard shad. And they are catching some, herring and stuff like that, and some smelt. It happens every time this year, but I'm hoping for a good smelt run this spring to get some of those tasty morsels.
Yeah, I am not into eating smelt. Tom Seberg says, just remember to have replacement parts for all boat, truck, and other stuff with you. And here's the thing, this drives me nuts. I never feel sorry for someone that blows a bearing. There is never an excuse for blowing a bearing. So you're doing 22 tournaments. You're hauling that boat. I'm hoping you're doing the bearings probably every time you get home.
Yeah, and we have so much replacement stuff in the boat. It's crazy. We have right now. I'm looking at a Garmin foot pedal, an extra one. We have a little rod locker on top of our truck. We have an extra Garmin Kraken in there. So a whole new trolling motor up top. We try to. My dad's like into that. He carries everything double. He buys everything double. So it's he for sure has my back on that, no doubt.
So how old is your boat? Your Camus is what? Is it a last year's model?
Yep, 25. We decided to keep it this year, maybe run it for another year again. But I love it. It's rode perfectly and run perfectly. So
well, and you won't have bearing it's the guys that are running boats that are trailers that are 10 years old, 15 years old, and like, oh yeah, well, yeah, I've never changed. I mean, I've never greased my bearings ever. Oh, why the hell did they give out on me? Smoking things, burning spindles off, and extra batteries. Yeah, no doubt. So what are you using for batteries? Are you all lithium then?
Yeah, all lithium. We run ionic batteries. I actually have a funny story. Last year in the AIM National, it was on Lake Superior. It went out of the St. Louis River there in Duluth. And the first day we went out and we headed out to Lake Superior. We were catching them on like the east shore there, 5 to 6 miles out. And at 9 a.m., we had a cameraman on the boat, and he smelled a little smoke. So what to do is we went over and opened up the hatch. And the battery, you could literally move the terminal with your wire, and it was about ready to blow up. So what we had to do is they literally melted. They were toast. And then so what we had to do is we called the tournament director, Denny Fox, for AIM, and basically ran back home or to the launch. We went in, loaded up the boat, checked out, went to Interstate Batteries in town, put batteries in the boat, went back, checked back in with the tournament director, and then we went out and caught 20 pounds after that within like 45 minutes. And then the funny part is I wish we wouldn't have blown them up, because the next day we had 52 pounds out there, and I think we would have gave a run for it, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's for sure.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing with these lithium batteries, they will light on fire.
Oh yeah.
I've heard. What was that?
And you're not putting them out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's no snuffing them. There's no, it scares me a little bit, but you don't hear too many horror stories, but there will come a day where it happens. I'm really curious to try the solid state battery. That thing is supposed to be unbelievable. It's expensive, but boy, I'll tell you what, that solid state thing seems to be like the way to go. So let's talk equipment. What are you using for rods and reels?
So my rods, I primarily use JT rods. So like right here, we got the JTX 7.3 Maglite. That's like my favorite go-to rod. And we pair it with the Daiwa Kage reel. It doesn't have any line on it right now. That's kind of my go-to as far as like a 3/16 ounce jig goes. My favorite jig I threw almost all last year was a tungsten Moon Eye 3/16 white. I caught the tournaments I got second on back to back. Every single fish was caught on these except one. And then my line, I run a flame green 10-pound forward, just because people always ask me why I run flame green or why everybody runs flame green. My personal opinion is you put your snorkel on, you go down to where those walleyes are sitting, you look up at the sun and tell me which line you can't see. And I believe it's flame green. You can't see more than the dark line. That's just my opinion on it. And then I run, I got a picture of it here, the J Fluoro Samurai from Daiwa. And then when I'm fishing, a lighter jig like a 1/16 or an 1/8, I'll run up to a 7.6 JTX Maglite. And then for my jig wrap rod, I run a JTX 7.1 Meg medium light, and then with a Revo rocket there, reel to pick up line faster.
So is that a 10-1 then?
I believe so.
Or eight,
yep.
eight? Yeah,
8-1 or 10-1 or something like that. Yep.
Yeah, that's they take a little getting used to reeling in some weight though. That scared me a few times because I stepped up to I wanted that 10-1 retrieve, and the first I had a 29.5 incher was at over 10 pounds. It was a big fish, and it scared me. I thought I was going to lose it. I thought I was losing it because it felt like I wasn't gaining ground, and then all of a sudden there it was. But it's amazing. You get used to, what is it, 5'6" to 1, something 6'4", whatever, and you jump up to an 8 or 10, and it feels really different, almost uncomfortable.
Oh, it is almost uncomfortable. I ran it for the first time last year, about midway through the year, and I hooked into a big one right away. And I'm reeling on it like I normally reel, and pretty soon the thing's shooting up to the surface, and it's coming fast. And I was like, it was a whole new system of reeling you had to learn almost with the reel. But once you learned it, as soon as you hook into that fish, you can pick up the line quick, which is, the biggest part. Otherwise, you lose those fish because those big wraps are so heavy. So it after I learned it, it definitely helped a lot.
So, okay, Tennessee handles, Tom. I'm a newbie to Tennessee handles. I don't. Jayden, you know what they are?
I don't know for sure. It might be the ones that you wrap around, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so Gene's bringing up the Zebco 33. Yeah, that's where I started. I just got it. How old was I, Kurt? I was fishing with your dad with it. He's like, dude, you gotta. Oh, that's right. You weren't around then. No. So it would have been 2012 or 13. I was still doing a Zebco 33, but so yeah, I don't know. I guess the Tennessee thing. I want to know more. I'm kind of curious. Let's talk about your the floral leader. Are you running a long floral leader? The length of the rod? What kind of knot you tying?
It kind of all depends. I like to run around an 8-pound floral leader usually. Like if I'm fishing Skakawea or something like that. If I'm getting to muddier water, I'll try to bump it up to like a 10 or 12, just because honestly, I break off a lot of fish just by setting the hook. I set the hook pretty hard. And, one thing is, once I hook a fish, I lost one fish all of last year in a tournament. Like that's pretty, from what I talk to people lose fish all the time. And yeah, I set the hook into that thing, and them JT rods, they do it themselves. They topple over, and I think it's the best rod on the market to not lose a fish for sure. I mean, they keep them pinned better than anything I've ever seen. And I'm not sponsored or anything by them. They're just, from what I've seen and what I've used so far, they are the top-notch rods. And then, on my jig wraps, 15-pound leader usually. Especially if I'm fishing trees or something like that, I'll bump it up. But usually like a 5 to 6 foot leader. And then I've been out fishing the tail race south of Garrison the last 14 days in a row, just trying to learn a little bit about rivers because I'm not a river rat by any means. That's what I've been trying to pick up on. So I spent around probably over 120 hours out there the last 2 weeks, and we've been using like 4 to 6 pound mono leaders, about 15 to 20 foot long, because the water is crystal clear. You can see 8-9 feet down. It's sunny out midday, so we've just been using long mono leaders, and I actually broke off a pretty big one. Set the hook and it was just gone because I forgot I had a 4-pound leader on. But yeah, I'm not the biggest line guy or whatnot. Even last year putting braid on, I didn't realize you put fluorocarbon in mono before you put your braid on, so it doesn't slip in a circle. So in a tournament, I set the hook and the spool was just spinning. Yeah. So I've come a long way, but I'm still learning a lot of the stuff people probably think's a newbie trick.
Well, it got me. It got to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't even know what the hell to do here because I don't want to tie mono or floral on to my braid and the whole 9 yards. So I started tying it like you do hockey skates. Run it around a couple times and then run it, pull it tight, and then run it through and loop it. And it seems to help, but I don't know. I may end up doing that mono thing too because there's just nothing worse than slipping. Because you can't get it back. You get your fingers in there, and all of a sudden your fingers are in your line, and it's just a crap show. But
Chuck's got a question. No worse feeling feeling the jig pull. Yeah,
for sure.
panhandler. Yeah, the panhandler. So I ended up fishing a JT rod, and I honestly I poo-pooed. I'm like, yeah, not that they can't be that great, whatever. And I was fishing with Tom and Grant Farmer, and got schooled on the JT. So Tom gave me a JT. So I think I've got the panhandler, right, Tom? The ice fishing rod, and it's amazing. And so I haven't made a move to the long rod because I haven't got to that point. But I'm sure that they're loving that you're talking JT, and there's a lot of guys that swear by them. They feel nice, they work nice. You're using all Garmin?
All Garmin. Yep, I think we got 22 and a 12 up front because that's all we could fit with the 22, and then a 16 on the dash, and then right here we got a 16 on a shuttle for my dad when he's feeling a little frisky in the back trying to throw a jig rack or something. So
you always have to have one in the back. There's no doubt. So Are you doing the 8600 series, or did you jump to the 9?
The 92-22 for the 22-inch. Yep.
Man, I'll tell you what, your old man didn't spare any expense.
Wait. I thought you were talking about a secondary screen. You're running the 92-22. Tom, time to step your game up.
Yep. I heard he was running the 19, so I had to step it up to a 22.
Do you have the brakes on your pole yet?
No, we don't have copy brakes on there. I was thinking about it. It sounds like it's what you want, but we'll see.
Well, I know there's Tom has them now, Dewey has them, Bo has them, and Chad has them for sure. And talking to Tom Wind, it's the real deal.
Yeah, I believe it. I've seen that. I was thinking about talking to my dad the other night about it and getting him on there, but we'll see.
It's just money. I mean, at this point of the game, I mean, it's just money. You're going to go out and make some anyway. So, wait a minute here. Tied 7 double uni knots today on JT rods, getting ready for Lake of the Woods in the morning. Oh, Chuck, you lucky duck there. So that was I was tying the uni knot the old hard way, and it was in the wind. It was driving me nuts, and I learned a quicker, easier way to tie it. And I'm not kidding you. Now I am so into the uni knot. Now I have no problem putting a fluorocarbon leader on anything anymore. I was tying my own knot that I invented, that I was comfortable with. I never lost a fish with it, but then again, I wasn't catching big, huge fish with it. But that uni knot it's an amazing knot. I can't do the F and G. Have you tried that?
I don't know any of the names for the knots really. I just have one that I tie every time, and
there you go.
That's what I do. I just go up around like 7-8 times, come back around 7-8 times over top that existing line, and then pull her tight.
Oh.
Yeah,
that gets her done. Whatever gets it done. I like the smaller knot. You don't feel it in the eyelets as much. And it's So what do you?
We go.
I don't know. It's pretty. It's older braid, but it's a pretty small knot when it comes down to it.
Not too bad. It looks a little thick, but then it might be the tag end that looks a little frayed. Maybe.
It's that tag end. It's
is that well? Okay, that's what
it's a bit like that.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's not that bad then.
Yep.
Okay. So I don't, Kurt, are you still delayed or whatever's going on there?
I can't leave. For some reason, I'm delayed on you guys. I'm going to try to leave and hopefully it doesn't mess anything up and come back in. So I don't know what's going on. I can see your mouse moving and you're not talking or vice versa. So I'm going to pop right out and come right back in.
Okay. All right. So okay, here we go. Okay. So when he comes back, let's make sure we move our mouths and don't talk.
All right. Yeah. Really
this last weekend, last week of the show, we were talking about a silent auction, and I'm like, the one thing I am damn good at, I am a great silent auctioneer.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So no doubt, I still love the Valley City thing. It's fun to connect with people and just to know the area. And here we go.
There we go.
Did it come back now? And you're
yeah, we're good. You guys are like, you watch that TV show and you got the voices here, and I was trying my best to keep up, but I'm like, this is bad. But so I guess
you didn't even see it.
I watched. I've been watching it for 25 minutes. I'm used to it. I mean,
what did Chuck say there? I didn't get to read it. I didn't see it. Let's see. I'll be honest with you. Say in my mind, 40s. I'm thinking about getting some readers for tying them. Oh, Chuck, for certain.
Yeah.
Where am I at here? Yeah. Oh, for certain.
I mean, we're cracking. We've cracked over 100 tonight. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah,
if you like what you're seeing, please like, share, and follow both Jason Walters and the Fishing Crew on Facebook and YouTube. We'd appreciate it a lot. But we've talked a lot about where you're going, what your equipment is, but I want to know how you got into this and who got you into this. And we kind of know that you had one pissed off event, and now you're diving in like nobody's business.
Yeah. So honestly, I started fishing. We had a cabin on Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, when I was probably like 5-6 years old. And from about 5-6 years old to about 12, 13, I was flipping a frog out there with a bait caster, going for big largies and stuff like that. And then we come back, and I always watch YouTube, and I just wanted to fish tournaments. I've always been a competitive person, just wanted to get into something. And my dad, he never fished really at all growing up. He still doesn't, he doesn't fish often, just with me in the boat. Before that, he would fish maybe once a year, he would say, sometimes maybe once every 5 years, when he was busy doing work from like 20 to 35 years old. He's finally started to kind of get out of that and, time to do some fun things. And, so I didn't really have, I wouldn't say like a role model to look up to in the fishing world ever growing up, but I had my buddy Reed Nelson. We graduated together and we fished together since we were, 5 down at the river in our hometown of Valley City. Every day in the summer, we'd go out, be about 8 a.m. We would hit the river, and about noon, I'd call my mom. Hey, Mom, can you bring me some Burger King, And she'd bring us Burger King down. We eat Burger King, and we go back fishing again. And that's kind of where I learned to fish, and just my love of fishing came from. And then kind of dove into the tournament thing when we did our first tournament in Ashtabula when I was 9. Because I would beg him, a 9-year-old begging him to go tournament fishing. It's probably not too common. I actually have a nephew who's 9, and he hasn't asked me to go fishing yet. So I was thinking about him the other day. Imagine he asked me to do a tournament. I'd be shocked. So I kind of think about that sometimes, a 9-year-old that wanted to go out fishing. But that's kind of where the love came from. And then after that, I would just keep begging him to do more tournaments. And then pretty soon we bought a 620 Ranger in 2019. And ever since then, it kind of just grew a little bit. We'd do 2, and the next year we'd do 3. Pretty soon it was 5, pretty soon it was 10, and then pretty soon it's 20.
22, 24, 25, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so 22-foot Camus, 400 racing. What's your top end then?
77 is the top end it's been, I believe. That was down a river. Yep. But in lakes we can run 73, 74.
Holy crap. That is amazing. That is, and I guess I haven't been in the Camus.
What prop are you spinning on there then? Because that has to be propped, and
I want to see it's a 22 Bravo 1, I think maybe, because it has a different gear case in it, I believe. I would have to ask my dad on that. That's what I think it is, though.
Okay, because usually you spin a little bigger prop because they spin more RPMs on them. So a 22 Bravo on that, and you don't blow out. That's impressive.
I believe that's what it is. I think
and
so.
And Tom says smiles per gallon.
Miles per gallon, no kidding. Yeah. So does that thing chine on you at all?
No, not at all. Never had it. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Actually, flat calm water, full blast, nothing.
So we have a couple questions here, and then a couple questions and a couple responses. But I want to get yours. So, what JT rod do you like to use for jigging wraps, and what length?
I like the 7-1. Here, I'll show it here again. The mag medium light. This is what I personally use. By no means it is the best or anything. It's just what I personally use, but it's right there. That's just my common jig wrap rod with that Revo Rocket on the back, the red one. But yeah, that's what I use. By no means is the best, but that's what I've seemed to like the best, and I just stick with it, I guess.
34 Rogue, and then I don't know if this was responding to Steve's questions. I don't know any JT rod lingo. So 74 Lake, that's a lot of fuel. 100%, that's a lot of fuel. Yeah. But I mean, it ain't about that. So Cole has this comment here. I have a 10-year-old nephew, and he's cast 4 checks and still working on a first place, but two top 5s he'll fish Cedar Shore in a couple years. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Absolutely love seeing those kids out there. Crazy story. Matthew Hostler just turned 21 this week. I remember in the Gov Cup helping his dad carry him to the boat and lay him at the bottom of the boat, in 2010, and lay him in the boat so he could sleep. And he just turned 21 this week. I'm getting old.
That's awesome.
But we got another question. Do you use braid for your jigging wraps?
Yep, I use braid, and then to a fluorocarbon leader is typically what I use. Yep.
Man, nice, right? Yeah, right. With the 34 Rogue.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're talking about that a little bit when you're using that jigging wrap. You say you're generally using an 8-pound floral leader. Then when you're doing that.
So the jig wrap, I bump it up to like a 12 or 14 or so.
Okay, all right. Yep. You're making me feel better because honestly, I went to a 14 and a 15, and I truly like the way it feels.
Yep. And it's a lot more comfortable too when you really get into one, and for sure.
Yeah, or frankly, if you're caught in the trees, you can pull them out a whole hell of a lot easier without losing them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Tom, I'm trying to catch Chasen, but I can't catch him yet.
Let's see. Says he's never sleeping. Just need to master either putting the camus on the trailer or back of the truck down the ramp. LOL.
100%. So, Jay, are you gonna run now? I saw National Walleye Trail allows you to stream both days. I kind of want to look into more of that. Are you going to be streaming this year on the National Walleye Trail?
I think we're going to try to do that. I actually got a YouTube channel coming out this year. We just bought a nice camera and everything. So I'm going to kind of try to, I won't be quite good as tour level gold, I'm not sure, but I'm going to try to get there and just kind of document almost a rookie year into it and, see how it goes. I'm going to try to live stream it for sure. I've been trying to get that figured out and set up. I actually was thinking about doing that before they even came out with that media release or whatnot. Just it's cool. Everybody, see how I'm fishing, exactly what everybody's doing. I know Kyle Patrick in the bass world, he's been live streaming everything, and he actually can live stream his live scope on the screen, which has been really something. I watch all those bass guys because they fish 365 days a year, and we fish about half that, so they know a lot more than we do. And
they catch a ton of walleye. So
that's for sure.
That was my question. I was going to ask that question earlier when you said you're casting frogs off the dock. Younger guys like you, most of them want to go the bass side. No interest, or if I lived in Minnesota, possibly some interest there. North Dakota, we just don't have much opportunity as far as big tournaments go and whatnot. We have a couple local bass leagues and stuff that I know about, but I would still be open to the possibility eventually is maybe turning over to the bass side a little bit or something later on. But I know it's a 365-day event, and you got to be out there every day.
Yeah. Well, you're smack dab in the middle of the walleye world, from Montana to Minnesota to of course South Dakota and a little bit of Nebraska as well. So the live streaming thing, I think people dig on that. The only thing that I would say is don't let it distract you.
Yep.
So Chuck had another question. How's the line memory on that heavier weight?
What does he mean by memory? Is like the
it has it it curls.
Oh, I change my line out maybe every month or so. So I don't really know much about the curling. Like it doesn't curl much, I guess. But
are you talking about the floral leader? I think, and maybe that's because that whole floral leader thing is not a big deal. There's not enough memory. You don't have enough line to deal with. I think it's the lighter line that when you start using the 6-pound, you start getting that memory, and it keeps that coil instead of straight out. I haven't had any trouble. I've been using basically either Seagar or Trilene, 14-pound, 15-pound, and there's no memory to it. It's just straight. It's awesome. I love it.
But I've never had a problem with that either.
Well, the other thing is, when you're out there doing that stuff, you're throwing some heavy bait, right? I mean, so I'm out doing the trees, so I'm dropping 1 ounce. So yeah, you got a lot of weight on the other end of the line. Are you? Well, you're throwing. You had jig and wrap on with one of the VMC dangler thingies. I don't remember what they're called, but then when you're chucking jigs, you said you were using the 3/16th, but you're not jigging deep after fish with 3/16ths. Are you going bigger? Are you half? 5/8?
I try to get really, really light. So I'll be fishing 35, 40 foot with a 3/16ths, and they'll be swimming like really far and like pretty fast. And I got to time them things. So I'm flinging that jig, 80, 90 feet and trying to get it to drop like almost like a football catch over top your shoulder, Wow. So I kind of think about it, but I will bump up to a quarter, but nothing bigger than a quarter ever for a jig.
No kidding. Wow. Well, yeah, and you're using the 9200 series. You got the big screens. You got the bigger, the better resolution. So that smaller jig is going to show up a little bit better. I'm using the ice fishing bundle, and I am going to go from the 32 to the 34 because it makes all the difference in the world in the deep water. But I've got to have a half ounce to 5/8 jig if I'm going to do anything over trees. Kurt, same thing with you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't fish nowhere near as much as I'd like to. So I'm kind of a jig wrap guy, and I still stuck in the world of always chucking a jig wrap or so. I didn't get a chance to try number 10 finishers this summer, but I heard that was a hot ticket on Lake Oahe was the number 10 finishers. So can't wait to try that. But yeah, I've not got much into throwing the jigs. The half a dozen times I fish in the summer when I'm not running a tournament or working on tournament stuff or hanging out with the pontoon with the friends and family. Yeah. I mean, I don't go as much as I go less than you, Jason, and I know that's hard to say,
because I haven't been in a boat or haven't fished, haven't had a rod in my hand since the first weekend of October.
Jayden just talked about fishing for 14 straight days for how many hours? Right. I guarantee he just fished more in 2026 than I will.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Me too. So, okay, let's talk plastics a little bit. Are you dipping in the smelly stuff, or are you just going raw?
I usually we run a little bit of Bass Feast on our stuff once in a while, but the Mooch Minnow, that's my primarily thing we run. They come out with the new sizes now, the 4.5 and the 2.5, it looks like. So that 4.5 inch would be cool to try. And then a really good, I can't even remember what it's called. They stopped making them, but the Salmo plastic, it was like a perch paddle tail. I think it was about 5 inches long. And that caught a lot of fish for me in the early months of the year for sure.
So with running 50 or 52, 22 tournaments coming up this next year, do we have any sponsors we want to talk about or thank, or anybody you want to thank before we hit the end of the show?
I don't got any sponsors this year, but if you want to sponsor me, hit me up. I'm open to anything, you know what I mean? But I guess my biggest sponsor would be my dad. He's definitely, he's there. That's the reason I'm able to do this, obviously. Incredible guy. He likes seeing his son succeed, and he likes seeing his son do what he likes to do. And I couldn't be more thankful to have a dad like that. And I'm blessed.
Yeah, you truly are. And your mom's watching from up above, right?
Yep. We lost my mom in late September last year, and that's another. We have two lock screens here, and the other one's my mom. And here, I'll show you. Right here, me and my mom. Right there. That's my other one. They switch back and forth. And that's my other motivation. Her favorite thing was watching me fish. And I'm going to go out there every day, wake up, think about her. And that's just going to make me hungrier than ever. And I'm going to go out there and show her what I can do. And that's who I fish for, honestly.
Yeah, bless you. That's fantastic. It's a great positive way to look at it. You could be sad. It could bring you down. But life is life, right? And you move on, and you've got these great opportunities, and I don't know if it works that way, but if we think that mom's watching from heaven or my dad's watching from heaven, that's great, right?
Yep.
That's just okay. Let's keep thinking that way.
I'm a firm believer they are.
Yeah.
You know my stories about the dimes, Jason. I'm a firm believer that my old man's watching down on us, calling us dumbasses every chance he can get, right. Drinking a beer, eating a chuck wagon.
Well, here's the funny thing. Yeah, I'm sure he had no clue you and I are going to be doing a show together. He did not know that. Steve, hey, appreciate you watching, Steve. You're always here every week. We enjoy it. And we're closing in on that hour thing here. I am so glad your dad reached out, because you would have been busy and we would have never caught up with you. And I tried pretty hard there for a while, but you had a lot of stuff going on. I think another thing that I think people should know about, when you finished the Dakota Walleye Classic and got all done, all the young guys, right, the guys your age, maybe some younger, maybe a little bit older, they all came to you and they asked you what you were using, what you were doing. And your dad said, listen to Jayden. He's going to tell them everything. He's going to tell them the truth. He's not going to lie. He's going to give them every piece of information he can. And that's amazing coming out of a young fellow like you. Thanks for doing that.
Yep, that's what I try to do every time. I would like everybody to do the same thing. Make everybody a better angler almost. And so every time anybody asks me, I tell them 100% truth. I have no secrets. I'll always say that.
I mean, Tom Wynn's the only guy out there, other than you, that will literally tell you what he's doing, and that's what the walleye world's missing, right? We talked about losing the new head-to-head and the National Walleye Trail changing, and losing the AIM Pro circuit, the next series next year. We talked about all these circuits that we're going to have, and we lose it. And everybody thinks it's a new walleye circuit or a new this and that. You want to know the answer to make the walleye world pop? Talk. Be transparent. When somebody wants to talk to you, give them the time of day. When somebody wants to, understand what you're using, I'm sorry, I would literally, if just say Rapala comes to you and says, hey, we want to sponsor you, I would really look at him and say, that's fine. But if I'm throwing a finisher, I'm telling them I'm throwing a finisher.
Yep, because exactly.
That is the biggest thing. These walleye guys, like love Hunter Nitty. We had him on the show, and he's sitting there. Well, there's things we do in the walleye world that's just a little different, little nuances. Sure, the bass guys are doing the same thing, but it goes back to Brandon Polinick last year in Florida, fishing a canal with 5 other guys, and he literally took the bait that he was throwing and threw it to all 5 guys and still whooped their ass. Be that guy.
Right.
That's what it's all about. Yep.
Just do what Tom Wynn's doing. Tom Wynn is the only guy that I know that came into a sport knowing absolutely nothing, and in a short time is doing it for a living and traveling all over the country, doing all the Shields universities, because when he talks, he's real.
And he's sharing everything, right? He knew nothing, and he shares everything.
100%. And if you can keep it that way, you're going to be it's going to go a lot further for you. And, just remember, the young kids are watching you. Mm-hmm. I was 22 once before, and I was telling Jason this the other day. If he didn't know me back then, we wouldn't be friends today. I was a wild man. I had fun. But guess what? I didn't understand that there's kids looking up to me and other people looking at me, adults looking down on me going, look at this dumbass over here. And it takes a long time to come out of that stigma to become what you want to really be. So can keep that lightheartedness, keep that honestness, and keep your nose down and go, man. And you'll make it, and you'll be somewhere, and your name will be one that's known for years to come.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot.
There's no doubt about it. Keep a clean tongue, and I have no doubt that you're going to be amazing. Is this year going to be your year? I sure as heck hope so. I hope you have all 22 are fantastic, and they're all top 10 finishes, whatever it happens to be, or you're happy with the finish that you get at each tournament. But one day, you'll hoist the big trophy, a trophy. Who knows what it's going to be a year or 2 or 3 or 4 from now. But it's amazing to get to know you. Excited to watch you this year. Excited to watch Bo. I'm excited to watch you and Bo compete. And that's in a, you guys are doggone good fishermen, and it's just going to be fun to watch you boys fish. So Man, I'll tell you what, the fans of Walleye got to be darn happy this year because this is going to be a fun year. It really is.
I think we're going to have to do a montage at the end of the season on the Jayden Wendel and Bo Schilling hairdos.
Right on. Yeah, right on. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah. You have to get us both on at the same time or something at the end of the year to get a little recap.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it'll be amazing.
Idea that I want to run by some people. I got an idea in my head, and I'm going to talk to Jason after the show to see if it's even doable. But I got an idea that would be pretty amazing if we could pull it off. So yeah, man, just like I said, keep your head down, be true to yourself, be true to your fans, because you might not have fans right now. I mean, you had 105 plus people on here.
Yep.
And from Bo Schilling.
There we go. I love it. Absolutely. I love it. That's
and keep your head down, rock it out, man, and stay on top of your game. And you will, next year when I ask you who your sponsors are, you're going to tell me a whole laundry list of people.
I sure hope so.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, Jayden, it's been fantastic. Brett Blumendahl next week. He's starting a classroom of his own. I think it's great.
We have a kid, Brandon's son. He got the Morgan Wallen hairdo, Benny. And every time we make sure there's no chairs around, and yeah.
I absolutely love it. Yeah, that's going to be amazing. So Brett's going to be on next week, and then I did hear back from Bo yesterday, I think it was, or maybe even this morning. He's going to be on either March 4th or March 11th. So, folks, we're going to have Bo on as well, and then we'll have you both on sometime in between or at the end of the season, whichever comes first or last.
Sounds perfect. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it. We got to do this too for our sponsors. I mean, it just. Somebody was expecting it, so I thought, well, I better pop it up there.
You ever put Preparation H on your lures?
No, I haven't.
We'll do it when you come to Mobridge. We'll give it a test.
Right on.
Well, it's an old school trick from back in the day. Jim Randash talked about putting Preparation H on his baits.
Never heard of it, but I'm
He said it
probably does. I'm sure it does.
When I was a kid, before he goes out fishing, he's gonna go get a thing of Preparation H, and you're gonna get a message about how it worked.
When I was a kid, I used to put sunscreen on my jig before I'd cast it at the bluegill when I ran out, and they would eat it with sunscreen on it, but wouldn't eat it without sunscreen. So that was pretty neat.
Yeah,
like Randash, or was it or was it Senior that said he put gas on stuff and it didn't bother anything?
Senior, I watched Senior dip his crankbaits in gasoline or spray WD-40 on them.
Yeah, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. All right, Jayden, thank you very much. Tell your dad thank you, and excited to hang with you a little bit here in Mobridge when you come, and excited for the start of the season. We'll all be watching.
Right on. Thanks for having me.
All right,
thanks, buddy.
Take care. Thank you.
Yep, you too.